what's going on, guys? Mini call here coming at you with the day 160 update, which I do have to admit it is actually a few days behind. Combination of working and having to work a red eye, which really just kind of messes up my sleep schedule just a little bit, and essentially just being at work, and I didn't bring my laptop with me, which I normally do these videos on my laptop. But anyway, so the day 160 video is actually the day 162 video. Just a few days behind, but more or less kind of things haven't changed too much. So as we typically start these videos with the progress, right now showing 1.53 or 1.5 mil, which is just up about another 100,000, which is kind of about what I've been averaging pretty consistently. So if all this holds true, in the next hopefully 4 updates, I should be hitting the 2 million mark, which is a milestone all in itself. Where the account currently is and kind of what we're working on and kind of what I've been progressing through, I've kind of had to shift focus a little bit. I have been hyper focused on the Dark Dimension campaigns and really just getting this account into those campaigns as soon as possible. So finished Dark Dimension 2 first, then did Dark Dimension 1. Was then working on Dark Dimension 3. However, the Alliance actually got into U7.1, which has been a lot harder than I initially expected the difficulty jump up. Not in the sense where it is too hard, where it's not doable. It's just there was a bit of a jump up, which did kind of surprise me. So I've had to shift my focus on Mini a little bit, and I am using a full symbiote team. However, right about the time of like this node, so kind of when you kind of get into that third boss node quadrant, I'm having to actually do the fights manually, and that's just because the way the UI handles the symbiotes. I mean, the UI is always going to try to use ultimates and specials. So what I've been doing is I want fights to go in and basically have almost all of my abilities ready to go. So when I get to this node, I do the fights manually, and I fight the fight normally, and then when I get to the point where I've got either about 6 to 7 enemies left, and if my symbiotes are looking pretty good, what I'll do is I'll go in and then I'll just do all basic attacks, and then by the time I get to the next node, I have all of my special abilities are ready, all of my ultimate abilities are ready. So, what can happen is in a lot of these nodes, especially after the third boss quadrant, sometimes they'll just one shot and totally delete a character. And obviously, this is very RNG based, but if they delete someone that's not anti venom, you can quickly res them up and you're good to go. If they do delete anti-venom, it is just kind of some bad RNG, and that does kind of, obviously sets the symbiotes back quite a bit. If you're able to then complete the node, you can do a couple things, depending on where you are on your core refreshes, or not your core refreshes, but how you're doing with your refreshes. You might want to think about possibly resing a character, if we are really pushing. And what I mean by the refreshes is these ones right over here, the raid health packs. So that's an option. So what I've been focusing on now is getting my symbiotes back to the point where they are able to auto the U7 nodes. And, just the logic behind this is if I can just tap auto and have the symbiotes run through it, I would rather do that. Certainly makes my life a little bit easier, especially playing through 3 accounts. It's a lot easier if I can just press auto and have it, do its own thing. So what I've been focusing on is the symbiotes, and I was kind of taking it where I wasn't really leveling anyone past 70, and I was just kind of saving those training mats because I was working on completing some of the campaign nodes, just to make the orange gear a little bit more farmable. But so I've had to shift that a little bit, and I did get all of my symbiotes up to level 73, which is my max level for the time being. And when I get to level 74, kind of again the same thing, I will get my symbiotes up to 74. But something else I've started focusing on is I did all of the, and I'll post the infographic with this video, but I did all of the orange or the red recommended T4s for this team, way back when. So what I focused on now is I am also starting to do the orange T4s as well as the yellow T4s, and that makes a lot more sense when I do show the infographic. But one of those things I believe. The first one in the orange quadrant is Scream's Basic. Next one I think was like Symbiote Spider-Man Special. Um, Now, basically, what these things do is they help boost the damage output of the team, and the thinking behind it is that it's going to create a lot more survivability, and hopefully, my team can survive a little bit longer, kind of play through on auto, and do their own thing. The other thing I've been starting to do also, and I was going to wait to do it until much later on, is I'm taking them as close to Gear 14 as I am able to. And originally the plan was is they were going to be one of the last teams I worked on, just because the city nodes are the last set of Dark Dimension 3 nodes. So there really wasn't a rush initially in my mind. But like I said, for me, primary focus is always going to be raids, since those are things you do every single day, and those are rewards you're going to get every single day. So U7 is always my primary focus. Following that, I then kind of go into, progression mode. So where I'm at progression wise is I'm working on campaigns, and then, that's also leading me into Dark Dimension 3, Dark Dimension 4. So I'm farming these characters that are farmable. So basically, only Venom is really the only option I have. Trying to get him closer to 6 stars to make him a little more survivable. And then working on their gear, like I said, T4s are totally dedicated to the symbiotes again, and we'll go through that. Other things I'm working on. So again, it is kind of about getting certain pieces of gear. So I'm looking at these superior rather marrow extracts. Basically, all that bio gear is going to be in the end game campaign stuff, and a lot of that is going to be in the Doom campaign. So I am working towards getting towards the Doom campaign. But in order to do that, I first need to get through the Nexus. Once you do complete the Nexus, you are able to start going into Doom. So what I'm doing right now for my Nexus, the nodes I'm on, it's still the Hero Mutants nodes. So I've kind of created a faux X-Men team. And I'm just going to kind of filter some of this out just so the characters are there. So who I've been working on, I've got Cyclops, X-23, Beast, and Katie Pride. I was working on Colossus also a little bit, and he is Gear Tier 11. Um, I do, however, think, and I'm pretty being optimistic on this, but if I'm able to unlock Iceman, I am planning to take Iceman in as my fifth, and I did do kind of a more or less kind of core irresponsible thing, and it's certainly nothing I would advocate for. But I did have at the point over 5,000 cores, and I did do, again, like I said, this isn't something I would normally suggest doing, but I did really think that Iceman would help mini call, and with having almost having over 5,000 cores, I actually did do one of these cold as ice orbs for 675 cores. Like I said, this is a horrible buy. It's nothing I would ever recommend, but keeping mini call free to play, buying a Iceman option, buying one of these Iceman offers wasn't an option. For someone that's maybe a casual spender and you're looking to maybe unlock Iceman, this 9.99 buy is not all that bad. At the very least, you'll get 6 shards per drop, which would get you to 12 shards. And then if you are placing kind of in the lower end and you're only getting the 25 rewards for the Blitz, so with his blitz running twice, you'd get 25 a piece, which gives you 50, and then the milestones give you 21 each, which would put you up to 92. So you could unlock Iceman with this 9.99 offer. So that's certainly a option for people if you're looking to build the Axeman. But anyway, I digress a little bit. So, what I've been working on as far as the remainder of my campaign energy is I've been working on my faux X-Men team. I've kind of also switched up some things as far as how I'm spending my campaign energy. And for my heroes and my villains characters that I'm farming, I'm only doing the 3 that is required for the daily, and that's kind of all I'm doing. The rest of the energy is focused on getting my X-Men to basically gear tier 11, and then I'm trying level 60 if that can kind of get me through. If it can't, I'm going to try level 65 and see if I can progress through this Nexus node. The idea is I want to waste as little resources as possible. Um, that way I can just kind of keep going because there are going to be a lot of teams I am going to be building to kind of get through this campaign. But so what I'm doing, and I'm just doing in this kind of on screen, is with the remainder of my energy, I am buying, or not buying, I'm getting the mutant gear that I need. And Kitty Pryde kind of progressing through her pretty quickly. I will probably make another attempt at the Nexus node when I get Kitty to at least gear tier 10 and kind of see how I do. Like I said, I think I'm not going to be able to do this until I get Iceman. I think it's going to be some really nice synergy between the characters I've built up. Um, and just the idea behind it is Cyclops is going to be getting energy charges from himself and Beast. X-23 self heals, and then Beast, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman kind of just function really well as the Axemen team. So I'm hoping that should basically kind of get me through the Nexus campaign, and then I can start working on Doom. Other kind of things I'm working on in the background. I think, and I'm not going to be able to unlock her on this first pass around, but Jubilee, I am going to shoot for on her second pass, and I think she actually might be my first legendary that I do end up unlocking. Um, so we've got that. Other things kind of note in the kind of gold store, I'm still buying just items that are either for my symbiotes or for my astonishing X-Men. Blitz store, I am still doing just regular Blitz orbs, and I am doing, just spending through those as I do. Raid store, kind of the same thing, buying orange and purple gear. I'm not as focused as much on farming the characters out of here. I have been buying Thor when he pops up, and that's just because I am planning for Black Bolt as kind of on my scopes. In the arena store, same thing. I'm buying. I finished farming Hemdall, so I am farming Crystal, getting her to 6 stars, and that's for an eventual Ebony Maw unlock. The War Store, the only thing I am buying Ghost Shards when she pops up, and then select orange gear that is kind of not farmable. Elite Store, no change. I don't really spend anything in here. Once in a while, I'll see a character that pops up. Ghost, I just figured why not. ISO Store, nothing in there, and the Ultimate Store, pretty much the same. Other things, I guess, kind of note, Alliance donations, make sure you're doing them every day. Spending that Stark Tech when it is available. We did just hit level 50, so the new levels are available. So I'm kind of going in, and this one I'm going to, again, max out my bio first because that will help my symbiotes, and then I'll go over to my tech and my skill. I'll probably do tech to help my Pimplane, and then mutants to help for the Nexus campaign. But anyway, that's where the account is at day 162. Hope you are finding these updates helpful. Please like and subscribe, and feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions.